Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge, not wholly or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. A moment comes, which comes but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new, when an age ends, and when the soul of a nation, long suppressed, finds utterance. It is fitting that at this solemn moment, we take the pledge of dedication to the service of India and her people, and to the still larger cause of humanity.
Did you recognize the person who was giving this speech in the last video? Well, he is the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru. When the clock struck 12 on the midnight of 14th of August 1947, India stepped into its independence with tryst with destiny as spoken by Jawaharlal Nehru in the Indian Parliament. Jawaharlal Nehru, who was the first Prime Minister of India, introduced India to its independent era. But there was a long struggle that India had to do for its independence. But it was time for India to finally step into its new era of independence after a long, relentless struggle of freedom that it had done in the past phase. After the World War II, it became very difficult for the British to maintain empires overseas. So, the British Prime Minister Clement Attlee decided to transfer powers to India for its self-governance as soon as possible. As you can see, Clement Attlee was the Prime Minister of Britain and had called for self-governance for India. In order to do so, the British Parliament sent a mission which was known as the Cabinet Mission in March 1946. It was a 3-member cabinet mission and it was sent to India to discuss the terms of transfer of power to the people of India. As you can see in the picture, there were 3 members in the cabinet mission plan that was sent. It had Pethick Lawrence, Sir Stafford Cripps, A.V. Alexander, and they were all to discuss the details of the transfer of power to India with the Viceroy of India, Lord Wavell. So what were, the exact points that was established by the cabinet mission? Let's look at them. First was the formation of a constituent assembly which would consist 389 members. Second, it spoke about the Constituent Assembly would be drafting the Constitution of India. And third, that there would be an interim government that was to be formed at the center to administer the country until new constitution that was to be created would be finally implemented. After the cabinet mission plan had been made, there was an election held, and we see that the Congress won these elections to the Constituent Assembly in 1946, and the Congress itself formed the interim government with Jawaharlal Nehru as its head, and the task of framing the constitution for the country was started under Congress. But Muslim League, which was also one of the major parties in India at that point of time, rejected the cabinet mission plan, keeping in mind that there was no discussion about the creation of Pakistan. So Muslim League gave a call for the direct action day on 16th of August 1946, calling it to be the day of creation of Pakistan, and also a day where they actually opposed the cabinet mission plan. But the direct action day turned out to be very violent when communal violence spread all across the country, and the picture could be seen taking a more violent turn, especially in Calcutta. Till this day, these killings in Calcutta are known as the Calcutta killings, when several bodies were found wounded the next day, as you can very well see in this picture. So the direct action day was observed on 16th of August 1946 by the Muslim League, but it turned out to be one of the worst days when India saw communal violence in the heart of Calcutta, and the dead and wounded after the direct action day, which developed into a pitched battle as Muslim and Hindu mobs rioted across Calcutta in 1946, the year before independence. So can you tell me, when was the direct action day observed? Was it on 15th of August 1946, 16th of August 1946, 17th of August 1946, or 14th of August 1946? The correct answer will be 16th of August 1946. At that point of time, Constituent Assembly had started to work, and we see that on 9th December, with Rajendra Prasad as its president, Constituent Assembly started the primary work of discussing about how to create a constitution for India. Whereas on the other hand, Muslim League had boycotted the Constituent Assembly, showing their disregard for the cabinet mission plan, because it did not state the idea of Pakistan and a separate homeland for the Muslims. Thus we can understand clearly that the cabinet mission plan had failed. But the British realized that they did need a concrete plan to transfer power to India, so that India gains its independence through a planned manner. Thus we see the new Viceroy, Lord Mountbatten, who had been appointed at that point of time, drew up a plan which was known as the Mountbatten Plan. And this Mountbatten Plan established the fact that within 15th of August 1947, India would be given her independence. So the Mountbatten Plan was announced in June 1947. Now, what were the exact proposals of the plan? The first was that India would be officially granted her independence in August 1947, but would be partitioned into two nations, that of India and Pakistan. So we can understand that the price that India had to pay to gain independence was that it was to be partitioned into India and Pakistan. Now, as you already know, Pakistan was to have two parts, that of East Pakistan and West Pakistan, right? And India would have the entirety apart from these two portions. So basically, two dominions would have to be created. The second point was that Pakistan would comprise of Baluchistan, Sindh, the northwest frontier province, so this entire portion, and the Muslim majority areas of Punjab and Bengal. So this entire portion therefore would be West Pakistan, and this would be East Pakistan. Now what about the princely states that were there in India? So about the princely states, Mountbatten Plan stated that they were given the option to join either of the two dominions, or they could choose to remain absolutely independent. The final push to the Mountbatten Plan and almost a concrete structure was given in the British Parliament when the India Independence Act was established in July 1947. So we see that the Indian Independence Act stated certain clauses that again reiterated the Mountbatten Plan and established the concrete sort of ideas that was to be established. The first, as we discussed, India was to be divided into two new dominions, India and Pakistan, and the legislative supremacy was given to both the countries. Second, the office of the Secretary of State was to be abolished. Third, the two dominion governments were given the choice to either join or withdraw from the Commonwealth membership, so they could remain under the British Commonwealth or could move out of it. And third, with India gaining her independence in 15th of August 1947, the British domination over India and the native states would officially come to an end, along with all the agreements signed between Britain and India. So finally, on 15th of August 1947, when India would become independent, all ties between India and Britain as a colony and a colonizer would be broken. Thus, we see that the two independent dominions of India and Pakistan were formed between the midnights of 14th and 15th of August 1947. Now, most of the princely states that were there decided to join the dominion of India by signing the instrument of accession, and Vallabhbhai Patel had a very important role to play in this process. Now, when India and Pakistan got divided, Muhammad Ali Jinnah became the Governor General for Pakistan. And Lord Mountbatten would become the last Viceroy of India and the first Governor General of the Dominion of India. And after him, C. Rajagopalachari would become the first Indian Governor General of the Dominion of India. Thus, finally, India was moving closer to her independence when the Constituent Assembly became the Indian Parliament and Jawaharlal Nehru was to become the first Prime Minister of India. Finally, after years of relentless struggle, India gained her independence on 15th of August 1947. It was a time when India was joyous and people went ahead to the Red Fort in Delhi and brought down the British flag, and the Indian flag was hoisted. India, after fighting so many years for its independence, had finally gained it. But it had a price to pay. But India decided to take on to its freedom, and finally Pakistan and India were divided before India got its independence on 1947. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubts resolved instantly, learn via games, and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So, at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So, register for free now.